Hello all and welcome to Crochet Designs. My name is Mary and in today's tutorial, guess what we're creating today? Oh, hello, there's me in there. Hello. She gets so sidetracked. We are creating this gorgeous mobile phone holder. Check it out. I love color combination chosen by the beautiful Norma in one of our live antiques. Look at that. Now she chose these two gorgeous colors right here. Simply divine. Yours truly, just for practice, made that one. And I'm glad I did because that one I overstuffed with the poly fluffin, whatever it's called, one fluffin thing. We'll talk about that in a minute, but you can see how full that is. It's really over fluffed, whereas this one here, perfect, simply divine. All right, so what will you need for your tutorial today? You will need 99 grams of the green, and I'll tell you which yarn we're using in a minute, and 44 grams of the purple. All right, see how it is, the green there and then the purple on top. In this case it was the opposite way around with different colors. The yarn I'm using today is right there, this cotton organic yarn, maker yarn from our Lynn Craft store, one of our big chains here in Australia. But I have to say I actually doubled the threads. I show you how to double them anyway. Oh, look at that, some scrap. I show you how to double it during the tutorial because I found the thread, as much as it was a nice thick dense thread, I found it wasn't strong enough to support my work, what I needed. I wanted mine to be like tougher. Yeah, notice how I give you the fist when I say tougher. So I actually doubled each thread. I doubled the green, and when I got to the purple, I doubled the purple. I do show you how to do it, so don't stress. You will need obviously your two colors, yes, and the amount that I mentioned before, 99 of the green, 44 of the purple. You will need, for this tutorial, a 5mm hook right there. The yarn itself does call for a 4, but we are using a 5 because we are doubling our thread. In actual fact, you should be using an even larger size hook, but I'm not going to because I want this to be strong. Yeah, you will need a pair of scissors, 2 stitch markers, and the sewing needle I used was this one here with a very thick eye. Yeah, so you can get 2 threads in, and it was more of a, I can't get it to, here we go, try that there. It was more of a thick needle section there, so it's easier to pop through your work like so. Yeah, so make sure you have one with a nice thick eye, and of course you will need fluff and floof. Fluff and fluff, I don't know what it's called. What was it called? Hobby fill. This one was called a hobby fill, or like a polyfill, but you can't use the word polyfill because that's more of a builder's thing. I just called it a fluff and fluff. Fluff and spiel, fluff and fluff, I don't know. My hair in the morning actually, it looks like, but they're a little bit too much information, yeah. But there you go. These are all the items you will need for your tutorial. And once again, I'm trying to move everything out the way. Oh, excuse me, everyone get out the way. A very special thank you to the beautiful, I can't get everything to move. How long? Let's all move. Come on, you can do this, Mary. Here we go. A very special thank you to the lovely Norma for her choice. Sorry about the lighting there, guys. Let's move it around. For her choice in colour combination for our very next Live Antiques project. It is the gorgeous mobile phone holder. Thank you very much, Norma. Good luck creating our gorgeous mobile phone holder. Alrighty guys, as I mentioned in the promo, you'll need to double your yarn. And believe it or not, this is the way I did the other one. I just pulled a little bit of yarn from the inside. Normally it works without wreaking any havoc. But today it's kind of worked, but not. You want to grab, that's why. See, when it gets caught up in the middle, that's what happens. Doesn't matter. You want to get the beginning of your piece. All right, so that's how much yarn we've pulled. That's how much yarn we've pulled out. Now, ordinarily, I would use 2 skeins of yarn and work together with the 2 skeins. But because I'm only using the 1 skein only, what I did with the other one was, and it was a little awkward, but I worked around it. I took the top layer off this one, got the middle layer, put them together, and worked like that. Now you could have your 2 skeins sitting there if you like and work the other way if it's too confusing for you this way. And I'll show you throughout the piece what I do. But I find that because we're only using 100 grams, why am I opening up a second skein? Because this is 100 grams in total, yeah? All right, so you've got your 2 ends now, or whatever, however way you've done yours. You're going to make a slip knot, yeah? Making a slip knot is grabbing your tail end, wrapping it around your finger once and twice. You can leave as long tail as you like, not too much, doesn't matter, because we're going to weave those ends in super quick. We're not going to fuss with these ends because they're going to be tucked in our work, yeah? So you grab your back loops, pass them over your finger halfway, grab the other loops, pass it all the way over your finger, and there you go. Like that. You've got your little tails, and now that is ready to go. Just get your threads ready, yeah? All right, so we are officially going to chain 24. Okay, so yarn over your hook. Get a nice close up. All right, so chain is yarn over your hook and pull the loop through the loop on your hook once. Yarn over twice. Yarn over 3 times. Bring that out now. And you're doing 24. So 4, 5, 6. Being careful now because you have 2 loops. Making sure you don't split it. 7, 8, 9, 10, and notice how that happens. So what you're going to do is straighten up your yarns. 10, we said, yes. 11, 12, 13, 14. Notice how I'm still straightening up that yarn. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and there's a split, 23 and 24. Just being wary not to split your threads because we're working with 2 threads here. All right, so we've got our 24 chains, yes, and there they are. And the idea of this part is we're working along a top loop only of the chain. When we get to here, we're putting our single crochets in there, and then we're going to turn our work and work along the other loop. So let's start. The first one is there, single in that first top loop only. Single crochet there, put your hook in, pull a loop through, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2. We're going to pop a stitch marker in this just to remind us that that was our very first stitch. All right, and so now we're going to do 21 across that way. All right, exactly the same as what we've done here. We single crochet 1 in your very next loop, like so. 2 in that next top loop only. 3 in your next. 4 and 5. I'm going to stop it there so I can show you what I'm doing with my yarn. See how it's doing that now? Okay, we're going to have a look. Bring that down. That's just a bit of the tail, so don't stress too much about those tails. We'll move them out the way. But look at my yarn now. Okay, I've still got this. Hopefully this didn't happen to you. This is what's going to tangle me up a little bit. Just make sure you are not tangling your yarn. Okay, make sure it's not getting tangled. And just check it. Now, if you've done it the other way, more power to you. But otherwise, that's what I do as I go along. All right, we've done 5, haven't we? Yes. 6, 7, top loop only. 8, 9, 10, 11, just having a look here, that's pulling. Once this sorts itself out, it'll be so much easier. Okay, but it has twisted again. Once it sorts itself out, you'll just be pulling from the middle and it'll be spinning around gently. Just be careful of that spin that it doesn't tangle up. All right. Oh, that's still far away, sorry. 12. I think we're up to 12. 13. Oops. We'll find out at the end, won't we? 14. 15. Straightening up your yarn. 16. 17. 18. 19. 20. Straighten up that yarn again. And 21. In that very last stitch you come to, you'll have the knot there. You're going to pop in 3 single crochets, all in that last loop. So you go into there and you do 1, 2, 3. Yeah, and what you're going to do, you're going to turn your work a little bit this way, and you're going to work alongside the loops of the opposite side. Now, we've already done 3 in this stitch, so we're not going to worry about this stitch. In fact, if you want, you can just pull it down and you can see that very next loop right next to it. However, yours truly is going to crochet over this tail, and we don't have to weave that in because that's once it's crocheted over, that's on the inside of your piece, which has got a whole lot of stuffing in there, so that will not come undone. All right, so for this part here, we're going through all the loops you see in there like that. I'm going to put tail over the top so I can crochet over it, and there's 1 single crochet like that. Then you're going into your next loop, making sure that you don't get confused with your tails, that you're skipping a loop. Pop your hook in your stitch, crocheting over your tail, doing your single crochet. Now, if you don't want to crochet over your tails, by all means, you don't need to. You can just weave those in later. And you don't have to, I'll split the yarn there, look at that. And you don't have to over fuss with weaving because this is going to be hidden inside your project. So there you go. Crocheting single crochet over it. Oh, are you counting? I'm not counting. 1, 2, 3. How many have we done? 3. Whoops. Count. 4. Oh, it doesn't want to go in. Here we go. 4. 5. And you need to do your 21 across. Yeah. So 5. 6. You can drop that tail now if you like. 7. I'm sorry guys, I'm out of frame here. There you go, how's that? That's better. Okay, 8. Now let's pick up speed. 9. Making sure you are checking your yarn. 10. 11. Yeah, I'll split my yarn. Look at that, you see? 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Oh, I hope I didn't ever count then. I think I did. 18, who knows? We'll get to the end. 19. Don't you love it? 20. And 21. Okay, let's have another look. Make sure you've got your 21 across. So there was our first one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's see what I'm doing here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, by the way, guys, you're counting these little V's here. Let's try that. Let's try that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. All right. From here, you're going to pop 2 single crochets right in, right in that very first stitch that you've got your single crochet here in, right? So in there you could pop 1 single crochet and 2, and this one will act as your 3. Remember we did 3 down here, This one here will act as the third. So now normally we would slip stitch to join. We're not going to do that in this particular tutorial. Take out your stitch marker for now and just pop a single crochet in that stitch that had your stitch marker in. So you do your single crochet, 1, and you're going to pop a stitch marker in there, like so, just to determine exactly where your center is. Right, well, it's kind of a little bit off your center, but anyway. Then all you're going to do, you're in that stitch here, you're going to go into the very next stitch and do 1 single crochet into that stitch. Right, it's a bit tight there, it's going to start bending a little bit. Then you're going to do a single crochet into your next. Oh, don't do them too loose, yeah? Single crochet into your next. And your next, just checking I haven't split the yarn there. It's just pulling, that's all. And your next, and so on, all the way across. Yeah, and it's super duper easy. This is classified as the second round, or second row, second round. Yeah. And you're just going to single crochet all the way through. Now let me fix up my yarn. All right, so what I want you to do is single crochet until you get to your stitch marker. All right, but just being real, we'll get to the end together. And then I'll pop it on fast for you so you don't have to hear me talking. Pop it on silent and fast, don't you love it? All right, so we're going to, in fact, you know what you can do now? If you've crocheted over your tails, you can give these ones a cut because this is going to be inside your work. You're going to be stuffing that area. You won't need to crochet anymore or sew over that anymore. Okay, normally I'm pedantic with my tails, but in this case, not so much, okay? So single crochet in every stitch. Let's see how fast I can go without, I don't know, knotting things up and without, you know, making a mess. She's already made a mess. Okay. Nearly there, nearly there, nearly there. I can show you what to do when we get there, and then we'll pop it on fast for you. Yeah, when I say fast, I mean like it goes a million miles an hour until we get to the stitch mark. But for now, I just wanted to show you what we need to do here at this corner part right here. Now I've tangled my yarn over there. All right, so we're nearly there at the corner area. Right there's where we have our 3 stitches. All you need to remember to do is pop a single crochet in every V that you see. So there's 1 there, it's tight, but it's there. Single crochet in there. There's 1 in there. You see the 2 loops on top? Or in our case 4, because we're working with 2 loops, so there's going to be 4. Okay. And then you just jump into that very next V, you see. Good thing I didn't use the purple. Jump into the next V. It's a little bit hard to see this colour. Even the purple is hard. So there you go. All right, but these were the colours that the lovely Norma from our live chose, our live antics. And we've made it around the corner, like so. All right. So now we're going to continue along the way. Whoops. We're going to continue along the way. Oh, she's all over the place. Continue along the way until we get to our stitch marker. And then we'll talk about counts and we'll talk about what we're going to do next. Yeah. So I'm going to pop this on really fast. I'm sorry about the accent there. I'm mucking around a little. Pop this on fast and I'll leave it out. Pop it on fast for you. And until we get to that stitch marker, I'll meet you there or once you're done. And off we go. And we are almost there. Let me get you a close-up and have a look. There's our first stitch that we started with. That's the last stitch. So we pop our single crochet in that last stitch. All right, so now, whilst I was working there, I noticed my yarn sorted itself out finally. All right, remember that big piece, that chunk that came out? It's finally sorted itself out. Now the idea, it's a lot easier to work with the yarn like this now. Again, if you didn't do this, more power to you, it'd be easier for you. All I do is take a little bit undone and then I start working that way. All right, so your job is very, very simple, but before we go, let's count our stitches. All right, we've got 1 and a stitch marker, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 48. I got a bit sidetracked there, sorry guys. Now I'm going to have to take mine undone because I noticed, get this, right here, right there, it's pulled a little. So I'm going to have to take mine undone to fix that up, all right? So in every round, because we're working with 2 threads, just check. Oh, look, I've noticed here too, right here. It's pulled there too. Just check that you haven't pulled a thread because we're working with 2 threads at a time. If you have, you need to take that undone. I actually think I've made a whole mistake there. I might have done a slip stitch instead, but there you go. Anyway, that's my problem and not yours. So you've got 48 stitches in total, okay? So your job now is to do another 3 rounds exactly like what you've done here. So altogether you should have 5 rounds, okay? So what I want you to do now is just continue going around and round and round, and as you go, this will kind of pull in a little bit. It'll curve up the top there and curve there. That is normal. That is what we want to happen, yeah? That's why I wanted you to do this yarn. I'm going to cut that a bit more because it's really annoying me. I'm just so annoyed by it. That's why I wanted you to do this part here now, because once that starts curving up, you're not going to be able to do it. Now, if you really wanted to weave that in, you could. It doesn't matter because we're going to stuff it. So there we go. All right, so your job now, head off on your own and do 3 more rows. I tried to say rows and rounds at the same time. Do 3 more rounds exactly the same way we did, where we just now, and I'll show you the start of it so you know what you're doing. All you're doing is doing a single crochet in that stitch with a stitch marker. Take it out. Oops. Do the single crochet like normal. Place the stitch marker back in there. Okay, you just need to know how many rounds you've made, so you need your stitch marker to remind you. We've now done 2 rounds, we need 3 more. All right, so you need to come around this way and pop your stitch in there, replace the stitch marker, mark down that you've done 1 round, and then the 2nd round, and then the 3rd round. So do 3 more rounds, meet me back here, and we'll talk about what we're going to do next. Alrighty guys, here we are at the end of the 5th round. So you would have done 3 more rounds that we did from the beginning. Yep. Alright, so once you get to that stitch marker of your 5th round, you're going to pop your normal single crochet in it, like normal. Take out your stitch marker, and you don't need it there for a minute. We're going to chain 1. Now, what I want you to do is grab your piece, like so, and just squish it all flat like that. When you do, you'll find your very first stitch sticking at you, right there. Hop into that first stitch. Now go right into the opposite side, and we're going to single crochet these pieces together, but only halfway for now, because we need to stuff it as well. So pop your hook into the other side as well, pull the loop through, and do a normal single crochet. Be a little tight to begin with. Okay. Oh, it looks like I've pulled a bit loose, that chain one. Let me start that again. My chain one's really loose. It's actually the stitch that's loose. You just wait there for a moment, guys. Talk amongst yourselves. Try not to cause any trouble. Okay, so I'm going to tighten that stitch up a little. Make sure your stitches are tight. Then I'm going to go straight into that very first stitch on one side, very first stitch on the other, and pull the loop through and complete your single crochet. Now that's better. All right. Then you're going to do that all the way across. Go into the first stitch on one side and the first stitch on the other. It's not the first, it's the second, right? Actually, it's the third, because the first one is stuck here somewhere. But anyway, there and there. And that's what you're going to do. But just go halfway, because we're going to stuff part of this now. Part of it, because we're going to be closing this up. As you can see, it's closing up as we speak. Yeah, let's bring that out so I can be in frame. And in every stitch all the way across. Again, just going halfway. Okay? A little bit fiddly. The yarn, you know, is a bit thick and solid, but that's what I want. I wanted a nice, solid mobile phone holder so it doesn't like collapse on you. Yeah? So a nice solid one. Strong one, if you will. Let's just straighten this up a little. Grab some more slack on the yarn there. And there we go. How far are we? We're almost halfway. It doesn't have to be exact. It's just so that you can, you know what, I'm going to stop it here. Let's first see if I didn't split that yarn at the back. No good. All right. So what you've got is that. Now what we're going to do is put a little bit of stuffing in there. Now what you want to do, the idea is, let me show you the upper piece, is to not overstuff it. This one here, I believe, was overstuffed. It's a little bit too thick. However, it still sits the mobile phone. So if it's too thick, it'll push and your mobile phone will collapse. All right, so what you want is it to be not too thick, but also not too thin. How much fluff would you need? Well, I'm going to weigh mine right now and we'll talk about how much you will need. All right. All right, so I've weighed mine and mine's about 3 grams so far. All right. So let's just pop some in and see how far 3 grams will take us. And I think 3 grams is going to be way too much. So pop it through a little bit. Again, you don't want it thick. You want to kind of straighten it all out a little bit. It's a lot, isn't there? There. And even that's looking too much, but I'll let you know exactly how much I used at the end. All right, so that's all 3 grams so far. So what we're going to do is close it up that little bit more, and then you can start stuffing it a bit more, yeah? All right, there's a single crochet there, and in your next one, like so. All right. Now I did mess around with this pattern 2 or 3 different times to get the right measurements. You can actually change the size to suit you and make a larger mobile phone holder or an even smaller one, you know, for something smaller. Some sort of iPhone, or I don't know what you're using, but smaller. Oh, I'm really struggling with this. Look at this. Hopefully you're not having as much trouble as I am. And if you're using a solid colour, a chunky yarn, even better. It'd save all this fuss. Now I've noticed, wait, I've gone too far now. I want to be able to put a bit more stuffing in there. So I'm going to pop all 3 grams in. And if that's too much, I will tell you at the end of this piece and we'll take it all undone and play with it again, because, you know, you don't want it to be too much. But I think 3 grams is enough. Once we're done, we can flatten it all out and move it. So I've got a bit of a gap there. We can flatten all the chunky part over and move it over a bit, yeah? So I think 3 grams is plenty for the base, that is. Okay. For the rest, we're going to have to check how much we're using later. This is all trial and error. It's all trial and error. I'm just going to see if I've got enough to move around. Yeah, I do. Okay, so 3 grams is perfect for the base. So here we are at the end of the... Oh, let me blow this up for you. All right, so here we are on the last few stitches. I've got that to go there. It's really tough now, isn't it? And we're getting into the very last 2 stitches there. Oh, that was tough. Give everything a little adjustment, if you will, if that helps. I haven't really filled out that corner properly. All right, so you don't want to overfill it, but you don't want to underfill it as well. So that's kind of a little fluffered up, fluffered up, puffed up, and there you go. All right, so now what we're going to do from here, okay, from here, I don't want to take too much undone without losing my stitches, not after all that hard work. Oh, I did. You didn't see this, all right? You didn't see it. You didn't see it, all right? Shh, they didn't see it. From here, we are going to chain 1. Turn your work. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to place our, let me show you quickly so you see where our stitches are. These stitches you see right here. You've got a front loop and a back loop. We're going to work on the front loop, but actually from the back side. It sounds terrible. We're just going to flip our work, and in the very first stitch you see there, try and just grab that front loop. So you've got the front loop there and your back loops are behind you, yeah? So you just do 1 single crochet there, yeah? Just pop a stitch marker in here so you know where you are at the end of the round. Okay, I just split the yarn there, but that's not going to affect it right now. And in the very next stitch, you're going to do the same, just in the front loop, single crochet in the front loop. Do the same with the next, front loop only. Okay, and that's it. And that's what you're going to do all the way across this side of your piece, making sure you are only going through the front loop. If it helps to turn your work towards you, it will be much easier for you, if it helps. Me, I'm kind of used to it, but I will do it anyway because we're working with 2 threads here and I don't want to split the yarns, yeah? So, let's just keep going. So I'm going to pop this on fast just until I get to this section here, and I'll catch you up in a moment. Alrighty guys, how'd you go? I'm making a big mess here. I've got fluff and fluff everywhere, floof and fluff. Alright, so I'm at the second last stitch right there. And the last stitch is right there. Alright, so what you have is that. And that's the opposite side, yeah? Alright, so now what you're going to do is chain 1. Turn your piece. Alright, you're going to skip that kind of, it's the first one right here, right? It's a bit awkward there. You're going to go straight into the very, can we see it close up so you see where I'm going? So you're skipping that one there and you're going straight into that one right there. Okay, you're going through the 2 loops. It's actually 1 loop. We've got 2 threads. And do your single crochet. Really tight. It's going to pull a little bit here. That's normal. Jump into the next loop there. This is the loop from the opposite side that we are now working on with our single crochets without splitting it. And there you go. It's going to be a little tricky, like so. I've got to pull my yarn now. And this fluff and spill keeps... Look at the mess I'm making. It's getting stuck in my yarn. Hello. Oh, don't keep it close to each other there, guys. All right, so that's that. And just keep going all the way along. Very tricky, very uncomfortable feeling, but you know what? You'll get there. I'm not even in frame, am I? Hello. And I think with my stitching too, I'm actually quite a tight crocheter. And we do have, you know, it's really quite chunky and thick and everything. But that's the idea. I want a nice thick one so it holds your mobile phone nice and sturdy. Come on, Mary, you can do this. I don't want you to see me struggling. But what I'm going to do And I'm running out of voice here too, guys. I don't know why. I'm laughing too much. That's why. I just want you to, I was going to say I'll put this on fast, but look where we are. We're right here. She's just spent the whole time giggling and being silly. But it's just because I'm struggling with, hopefully you're not having as much struggle as I am. If you can see some flashing happening, that's my other phone. Sorry, guys. A little bit of flashing in the background. I've got it on silent. I've got 10,000 people bothering me right now. I'm in the middle of a tutorial. Stop bothering me. All right, here we go. We're nearly there. Nearly there. Almost there. All right. That's really tight. Okay, we've got 2 more, I think, to go. Let's have a look. I'll get close up and we'll see how many we've got. I haven't been really counting. You don't really have to worry about count, but you should, I suppose, but don't stress too much about it. It's a product that if you mess up the count, it doesn't really matter. It's the type of product that it doesn't matter, or type of project, I should say, that it doesn't matter. All right, I think that's the last one. Okay, because the first one is there. Oops, I'm not even in frame. Sorry, guys. From here, we're going to try and pop a single crochet in that very first stitch. So we're going to leave everything else and just pop a single crochet in there. But what I want to do literally is take this stitch marker out because I've split my work, as you do. And in that single crochet stitch, the tight stitch, you're doing a normal single. Oh, I didn't do it. Just split the yarn. Here we go. A normal single crochet. Like so. Well, that was a bit tight. Hopefully yours wasn't as tight as mine, or isn't as tight as mine. And pop your little stitch marker in there. That just shows you that's the start of your round, okay? Then you're going to hop into your very next stitch. No more back loops, front loops, and just do a single crochet. Oh, that's so much easier. Single in your next. Single in your next. I had to stop recording for a while there, guys, because I kind of lost the plot, as I do on some of my lives. If you haven't been on one of our lives, you really have to join them. We have a lot of fun. They are 4 p.m. Wednesday afternoons and 10 a.m. Saturday mornings, Melbourne, Australia time, that is. And we have a lot of fun. And this is where these live antics came into play on one of our lives. We just have a bit of fun, and we get one of our wonderful subscribers to choose a colour combination of our next project. And Norma chose the green and the purple. We're going to start on the purple later into the tutorial, but for now we're just going to concentrate on going through these tight stitches with the green. So continue doing your single crochets until you get to come on, Mary, until you get to that top end there, opposite end of your stitch marker. Keep going, your single crochet all the way across. I'm trying to rush now. I don't want you to sit here and watch me struggling with this yarn. Splitting, tight. This is why I don't like doing amigurumi. Amigurumi is when you're using stuffing and things on your work, or when you have to use a smaller hook than you're supposed to. All right, so we're here at the corner. Guess what? We've got all of this here, and I'm going to get a close-up and show you because I don't want you to miss anything. Every V you see, there's one right there. Do a single crochet in. Do a single crochet into, I'm sorry, I'm out of frame there, your very next V, which is that tight stitch there. I think that's the chain stitch that we had. Yeah, that's the chain stitch that we worked with before. I would go directly into the chain stitch if it helps. Like that, do a single crochet into the chain space, if you will, yeah? And then single crochet directly into your next stitch, yeah? And then into your next stitch, and then one into your next. And what we've done, we've just turned the corner. That's all we've done. And you haven't split your yarn as much as I have, I hope. She keeps doing it. Oh my gosh. Let's stop for a minute so I can show you what you've done. All right, so that's what you've done there. All right, it should look like that. Okay, so now your job is to, without splitting the yarn like me, I'm going to pop this on fast for you again. Pop it on fast for you, and your job is to continue this side until you get to your next stitch marker or your very first stitch marker, and off we go. Alrighty guys, we are at the end of this round almost. I've got a few stitches to go, so there's one there. Oh, that's really too close. I didn't realise how close that was. And there's one there. And there is one just before the stitch marker. All right, so get into that one. You don't want to miss it. Otherwise, you'll be short. Now, before you continue, have a look at your piece. Count your stitches. Again, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be exactly the same. Let's see. Let's try it. So you're counting your V's. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 2, 3, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 40, 41, 42, 43 and 44 stitches. So you should have ended up with 44. If you've got 45, if you've got 43, it doesn't matter. That's the joy of a pattern like this. It's very flexible. All right, so your job now is to actually go round and round and round and round and round for as many rows as it takes to complete. Now, I'm not going to give you the full complete of rows yet. What I want you to do is do as many rounds as you can until you finish your green yarn, all right? Now, I'm going to tell you, I did mine on the actual 13th round. So we've done 2 here already, so we've got another 11 rounds to go, all right? So what I want you to do is just do another 11 rounds, and once you've done your 11 rounds, meet me back here and we'll talk about colour change. I'll have a little bit left because I'm pretty sure it went up to 14 and 15, but we're just going to say 13 altogether. You've got 2 there. You're going to do another 11 rounds. Meet me back here and we will talk about colour change. Alrighty guys, here we are at the end of the 11th round, Simply Divine. Now I do have some green left. The reason I wanted to stop a little earlier, in actual fact, if you have a look at this one here, I went on for another 2 rounds, or I think it was another round and a half, and I'll explain the half to you in a minute. The reason I stopped is because some people may crochet a little bit more loose than me, and they may not have enough left for their next round. All right, don't forget we are doubling our yarn, so it's going to take double the amount of yarn. So I figure let's stop at the 11th round, which will be 1 round earlier than the last piece, the other piece you just saw. And it doesn't make too much of a difference. What does make a difference is, and it's entirely up to you if you want to do this, you can do your colour change here, all right? If you do your colour change there, your colour change will be here on the sides and you'll be able to see it. I did mine in the middle on the other side, which I'll explain in a minute, and you can actually see it when you look at it this way. But this way is facing the bottom. So no one knows the colour change is there. So no matter where you look at your piece, you don't see a colour change, yeah? So this is why I've decided, and you'll need a stitch marker here for this part, to colour change in the middle, all right? So what I want you to do, just lift up your little loop, flatten your piece out, yeah? There's no right or wrong way of doing this, but if you wanted to, all you needed to do, I did 44 stitches in the round, divide it in half, which is 12, I'm sorry, what is that? 22, hello, which is 22, divide that in half, which is 11. From here, you're counting 11 across, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Grab your little stitch marker and pop it in there. And on the way back, you just start from there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So just a rough measurement of being in the middle. okay? If you find your middle starts a little bit there, put it there or there, it doesn't matter, okay? Because it won't be noticed, all right? So what we're going to do is take out our little stitch marker. We're going to do our normal stitch in there and replace the stitch marker. If I can get my work to work for me. Hello. Come on, Mary, you had one job. I'll tell you what. All right, so we're going to single crochet into that first stitch and pop our stitch marker back in there. It's really awkward now because we've got this big piece sticking out at us. I'm having a bit of a giggles because I've dropped the camera before and I dropped the whole thing and I've had to start again. So you just single crochet all the way across until you get to your stitch marker, well, your next stitch marker, which is the green or whatever colour I put in. I think it was a green colour. I don't know which one it was anymore. Okay, let's see. It's kind of green. It's like an aqua. It's aqua. It's not green because this yarn is green. So I would say it's kind of like a blue aqua-y kind of thing. Aqua-y? Can I use that word? Oh, she's all over the place. She's all over the place. Look at this. Talk about the nick of time. There's a knot right there. What are the chances of that? What? I didn't plan that. All right, single crochet in the next stitch. Oh, there's the knot. It's coming. You can, leave it there. Go back to that next stitch. You start your single crochet like so. Let me bring that up for you. Grab your next colour, which is the purple. All right, here we go. So you grab your purple, your 2 strands of your purple or whatever colour you're using, whatever contrast colour you want to use. Pull the loop through. Just hold all your strands at the back, nice and tight. Oh, wait a minute, take out that stitch marker now, because you're going to pop your first purple in there. So hold all your strands at the back for now. Don't hold all your strands. Just hold your purple at the back. You're going to crochet a little bit over your green, like so. 1, tighten it up, tighten everything up, and keep going over your green for about, 4 stitches. And I nearly knocked off the frame a second time today. So you're crocheting 4, 5, whatever you like. And this is the only time I don't weave in the ends when I'm crocheting over them. All right, I think, what is that, 5, 6, it doesn't matter. Then I just give it a cut. Get rid of the green completely. You won't be using that anymore. And I continue along the pattern with the purple. Like so. Easy, yeah? Easy. And that's what we do for the purple part. Now you're saying to yourself, wait a minute, you're saying, what about the purple colour? Yeah, we're going to weave that in a little bit later, all right? What I want you to do, continue in the round, get to this stitch marker right here, and I'll meet you there once you're done. Alrighty, so here we are at the end of the round and you're thinking, oh, it's only half. That's okay, that's normal, yeah? Well, kind of 3/4 quarter. Single crochet in your stitch. Now remember, this is your 12th round. This is where I messed up my count before on the other piece. I just messed it up with the colour change, all right? So this is your 12th round, yeah? All right, so keep going all the way over to your purple, right? And you can decide whether you want to crochet over that tail or weave it in. Personally, I would weave that one in because if you start crocheting over that one as well, it's going to leave this whole area thick. But again, this is your choice. It's already thick enough, this product, or project I should say. So your mobile phone cover is already thick enough, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. I'm still working with my yarn. The purple was easier to come out, by the way, not like before. All that yarn came out of the green. All right, so all you're doing here, did I split the yarn? Like it, didn't it? Right there. I think I did. Let's try. Excuse me. Let's try that again. So all you're doing here, right here, jumping into your last green, yeah, jumping into your purple, and you're just going to keep going around, right? You're going to keep going around. Now, before you keep going around, however, I want to show you just quickly what I want to do with that tail. Again, this isn't necessary. You can do whatever you like with it. It's entirely up to you. Now, what I usually do, when something like this, a project like this, I actually tie this in a knot. And I never tie things in a knot, but I do with a project like this, because I've got 2 threads here, and I weave part of my purple one way and part of it the other way. I'm not going to worry too much about it because we've crocheted over the green, so most of it will go this way. But I find weaving two ends in at the same time a little tricky. So I just grab one end, and you find a weaving or a sewing needle with a nice thick eye. You know, the thick eye, the little see-through hole you see there, that's called an eye. And then you just grab your little thread and pass it through some stitches anywhere you like. Make sure you can't see the needle from the front. Yeah, just pull it through, and you don't even have to overdo it. And I haven't got the tail end through. You don't even have to overdo it. Did I not show you where I went? Let's go and do it a bit more just for fun. Yeah, you don't have to overdo it like I'm doing this now, just to show you how far back I went. And there. Kind of easy. Don't even do it a second and third time. This is not going to come through because it's going to be stuffed, yeah? Stuffed with a stuffing of some sort. I don't even know what to call it, fluff and floof. I'll let you know by the end of the tutorial what it's called. Look at the name on the package, as you do. You can go anywhere you want with this. I'm going to just do a little bit over where I crocheted some of the ends. Just a little bit, just to get me through. And then I'm going to go into the other side, splitting some yarn along the way, actually just making sure you can't see the needle from the front, yeah? And again, it would be easier for you to put 2 threads in one. That's it. I'm not going to overdo it. I am not going to overdo it because, again, that's going to be inside your piece with stuffing, so no one's going to see it. So you don't have to worry about any more ends until you get to the very end of your work, right? And that one there is not a tricky one. I don't know what this thing is, but it's driving me nuts there. That one's not a tricky one. It's just an end, yeah? And I'll show you the best way of weaving that in, yeah? So we're going to single crochet. I'm not going to let you sit here and watch me do this, yeah? Single crochet until you get to this stitch marker right here. And then we'll talk about what we're going. No, we won't. Let's do it together. And I'll pop it on fast, yeah? Because then I can explain what you need to do. So single crochet, and I'll pop this on fast until we get to that yellow stitch marker. And I will meet you there in a moment. Alrighty guys, here we are at the end of the round, right there. And I'm not even going to, look, I've split that, so I'm going to have to go back and fix it. But anyway, I just want to show you what you need to do for the next few rounds. Alright, now your job, easy, after I fix my little split yarn there. Can you see how it's split? Right there. Hello. After I fix that split yarn, I am going to continue in the rounds. Now this is the 13th round, yeah? So we need to do another 7 more rounds, all right? So your job now is to do another 7 more rounds. Meet me back here and we'll talk about closing up shop and sorting the rest out. Go ahead and do your 7 rounds and I'll meet you back here once you're done. Alrighty guys, here I am at the end of this row. Flatten your piece out. You need to get to that section right there. You actually need to do half of this. Now remember before how we calculated 11 across, yeah? So just grab a stitch marker. All right, grab a stitch marker and just literally find your halfway through, yeah? So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's do it that way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So any one of those stitches is fine. Oops. Pop your stitch marker in. Hello. Mary, you had one job. Such a clumsy tutorial today. It really is. I mean, it must be the person doing it. I don't know. So now what you're going to do, take out your stitch marker for wherever you are. And it's such a clumsy tutorial. It really is. Nothing's going right, guys. If you were here today, you would have, there's a lot of bloopers coming out of this tutorial. It'll be in our next funny video coming up. So single crochet and continue to single crochet. Notice how I took the stitch marker out. We don't need it anymore. Continue to single crochet all the way over to the very next stitch marker. I popped that on fast for you guys because I knew it was taking a long time. All right, we're nearly there. We're nearly there. Nearly there. What have I got? One more to go. Okay, we got one more to go. Go into the next one with your stitch marker. Oh, I think I've just split it. So go into your stitch marker stitch and do one single crochet in there, like that. Chain one, lift up a loop. All right, and what you have is that. Yeah? So now what you're going to do, where you are, pop your hook back in because I just confused everybody. I didn't mean to, sorry guys. So you've chained your one. Yeah? Split open your work to where you are. All right, so now what you're going to do, you're going to slip stitch through all thicknesses halfway through your piece. And then we're going to start stuffing and then slip stitch through the rest. So you've chained your one. Go, oh, I should not have used the purple, but never mind. That's the way it works. Go into your very next stitch there and your next stitch on the opposite side. Pull a loop. Pull the loop through and pull it through to the loop on your hook. Tighten it up. And guess what? You're going to do that all the way through. Okay? Both thicknesses through both pieces. Well, not pieces. Through both sides, because it's one piece now. We are closing up shop. This is the best bit, guys. This is a part that tells you that in 10 minutes time you'll be finished. Maybe 5, depending on how quick we can do this part, right? I got the giggles, guys, because all the way through this tutorial, clumsy things happened, like the stand fell, I had the giggles all the way through it. I really did. And I swear I'll be doing I'll definitely be doing a bloopers video. Now, how far have you gotten? Bit more, bit more, bit more. Let's see. I think that's plenty for now. So you can half stuff it. How much stuffing would you need for this part? Well, I have between 14 and 15 grams of stuffing. All right, so what you want to do, just quickly, before continuing, just pop some stuffing in there. Keep going. Put all that in there. Oh, I found out what it's called now. My one's called, what's it called? I've forgotten. Do you like that? I've already forgotten. Some people called it polyfill, but it's not, because that's the, the builder's stuff that helps fill up cracks in the walls. This one was called Hobby Fill. That's right, it's called Hobby Fill. Now that's 15 grams, about 14 grams, I should say. You really might need just that little bit more. If you put too much, it's going to knock your phone down, yeah? So you want to make sure there's enough there. If you don't put enough, it's going to go like that. So you need to put a little bit more. Okay, a little bit more. There's about 15 grams altogether there now. All right, whoops, get in there. Get in there. All right, so there's 15 grams. I think that's plenty, and even that is probably too much, but that's all right, yeah? Okay, oops. Now, this is the awkward bit, guys, so bear with me. We are going to slip stitch right into the very next stitch. Keep going all the way across, and get excited, guys, because we're almost done. We are almost done, but I can feel my cotton pulling on me. Hopefully there's no knots there, especially not now. We don't want them now. All right, all the way through. Alrighty guys, just going to get you a close-up here because I've got about maybe 1, 2 and then there's a tight section here. So go through your next, your second last stitch or your third last, whatever it comes up to you as, and then your next right there. That's actually the second last now. And the last one is all this here. You're going to pop your hook in, it's a lot of thicknesses. Pull the loop through nice and tight, pull it through to the loop on your hook. Pull a loop through, put a loop through. Now before you go cutting your work, check that your piece is perfect, okay? All right, easy this part. What are you gonna do? Ta-da! Very easy. Pulling that loop through, just giving it a tug. And now you're going to grab yourself that darning needle. Remember that one there? You can actually probably pop both the threads through this one. There's one, and then the other one hopefully is coming. Oh, you know what? I'm going to do mine separately. That's me being fussy for starters. All right, but you can do both of them at the same time. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to do one. And then what I'm going to do here, which is such an easy part, you find a place where you're going, hello, that's better. Find a place where you can go into. And all you're doing is going into the piece and going through some thicknesses, yeah? I found last time with the other one, it was easier to go through a stitch here that we just did. She says that she's struggling to get in. And then just going through a whole lot of thicknesses in there. Like that. Just easy to go right through. And what you're doing is you're actually going through some of that fluff. Some of the fluff and fluff. Some of the fairy floss in there. Candy, what is it? Candy, what's it called? Well, we don't call it that here. Candy thing. Cotton candy, that's the one. We call it fairy floss here. So there you go. Just go through a little bit. Not much, because it's inside some of that floss. Give it fluff and fluff. Give it a tug and it just falls inside. Then you have the other thread. I love this pattern because it's been so easy. It just takes a long time to do because it was just fiddly with little fluff and fluff here. Once again, you are going anywhere you like. I'm going back in there again and I'm just going through some thicknesses once again, pulling through like so. I'm going to go back in there. Why? Well, because I can. And then just go further in. Now I'm going through that fluff that's in there. Yeah, it's pretty cool, huh? And it literally will not come out. That will not come undone. Yeah, give it a tug. Ta-da! Oh, there's your guy. Now he's upside down for me because I don't like that side because it's got the colour change. Yeah, move it out the way. Just adjust him. Pop all your fluff and spill, fluff and wool, whatever you want to call it. There. And then pop your little guy on and you are now good to go. Hello, can you see me in there? Oh, no, you can't. How about now? Hello, hi. So there you are. You're good to go, guys. You can use the other side if you like, where it does have the colour change. I wouldn't, yeah? I would use the part where there is no colour change, no matter how you look at it and which way you look at it. How gorgeous is that? We're done. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Thank you so much to our lovely Norma, one of our subscribers, who chose the colour combination to this one. Now I did this one for my benefits because, you know, me and red. So that one's mine, and I did this one for the channel. That the lovely Norma, I think I actually overfilled this one. You can see it's a little tight. You could probably get away with putting a bit more stuffing in it if you like, but that's fine. I find 15 grams is plenty. Now I did this one in reference to the colour combination that one of our subscribers chose on our live antics on our channel here at Wild Crochet Designs. Now, we have live antics on a Saturday mornings, 10 a.m. Melbourne, Australia time. I don't know why I pushed that one out the way. Let's push this one here. Melbourne, Australia time, right? We also have a live at Wednesday, 4 p.m. Melbourne, Australia time yet again. Is this out to the fullest? It is. I can't get it in. Can you believe it? Can't get it in. But if you wanted to be a part of our live antics and get to choose the colour combination of our very next project, you can join us on Saturday mornings live at 10 a.m. Melbourne, Australia time. Now, special thank you to the lovely Norma for her colour combination. I've always wanted one of these. I finally have one now. I don't have to hold my phone. And I use my phone all day, by the way, guys, if you didn't know this. I use it all day for my own pattern testing, and I write down a lot. I type up a lot on my phone rather than on the computer. It's a lot easier. When I'm ready, I just go to the computer and start typing, yeah? So I'm so glad I've got one now for my phone, and I can actually use it there all day, every day. Hello to me inside that reflection. And I will see everyone on Saturday mornings live at 10 a.m. Melbourne, Australia time. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share. And once again, thank you so much to the gorgeous Norma for her colour combination. Oh, I love very much. Now I have two. I've got two phones anyway because I use one for recording. I use this one here.